Look into someone's eyes right now. You don't have to say why. Just look. You'll notice something strange happening without a single word being spoken. Their pupil changes size, and you never even register it. But the real answer is far stranger than that. Since you were a kid, you've been taught that eyes reveal lies, that liars look away from you, that an honest gaze stays fixed. This idea got planted in your head early. Movies, TV shows, even your own mother telling you to look her in the eye and tell the truth, as if the eye had a built-in lie detector. But science tells you something completely different. In the 1960s, a psychologist named Eckhard Hess noticed something odd in his lab. Every time he showed participants pictures they liked, their pupils widened. Not because they were lying, because their brain was working harder. The pupil isn't a lie indicator. The pupil is a mental effort indicator. Anything that makes your brain work harder, whether it's lying, solving a math problem, or even genuine attraction, makes the pupil dilate. So when someone lies, it's not that their eyes are trying to hide something. Their eyes are revealing that their brain is working overtime. Lying is effort. You have to remember the truth, build an alternate version of it, and keep track of whether that version stays consistent. That process burns energy. The pupil reflects the brain's workload, not the person's intentions. Here's a question worth sitting with. If anything that makes your brain work hard dilates your pupils, how do we actually tell apart someone lying from someone just thinking deeply? Now comes the part that will flip everything you believe about eyes. There's a widespread belief that liars avoid your gaze, glance sideways, can't hold eye contact. This belief is so strong that people judge someone's guilt or innocence based purely on how they look at them. But a psychologist named Aldert Vrij from the University of Portsmouth spent years studying actual lying behavior, not the picture we carry in our heads about it, and she found something startling. People who lie skillfully, or even tell small, everyday lies, often hold eye contact more than usual, not less. Why? Because they know people are watching their eyes. They know that looking away would seem suspicious. So, they do the opposite. They force themselves to hold their gaze steady, sometimes even more than an honest person would. Which means, someone staring at you steadily isn't proof of honesty. It might just mean they're performing the role of the honest person, a role they learned from the exact same movies that taught you what honesty is supposed to look like. Think about the time you tried to lie to someone close to you. What did your body do without you consciously deciding? Most likely, you held your gaze more firmly than usual. Not because you were comfortable, because you were afraid that any flicker away would give you up. But there's another signal, far more reliable than the eyes themselves, that almost nobody notices. The eyelid. Not the shape of the eye, the speed at which it blinks. A researcher named Joe Techie from Boston College spent decades studying blink rate and its connection to stress. He found that blink rate rises noticeably under psychological pressure, even when the person has no idea it's happening. He tracked candidates in American presidential debates over the years and found that blink rate spiked sharply during tense moments or tough questions, even while the face itself stayed perfectly calm. Which means the face can become a complete mask. You can control your expression, control your gaze, even control the tone of your voice. But blink rate is nearly impossible to consciously control. It's an automatic response from the nervous system, not a decision. Here's a question worth thinking about. If most of what we've been taught about the signs of lying is wrong, Are we actually reading people correctly? Or are we just reading the performance we were taught to expect? The real paradox is that the human body was never designed to lie in the first place. For thousands of years, humans lived in small groups where everyone knew everyone, and lying was extremely costly. If you got caught, you could be cast out of the group, and in a harsh environment, that often meant death. The body evolved to send clear signals of honesty, not to hide them. The pupil, the blink, even the tone of voice are all remnants of an ancient system built for transparency, not deception. We're now trying to use a tool designed for honesty to practice a modern, complicated form of deception. And that's exactly why our face and body end up contradicting themselves when we lie. Think for a second about the time you felt someone was lying to you, not because you saw clear proof, but because something just felt off. Most likely your body was reading a whole cluster of these small signals together, without your conscious mind ever translating it into the word lie. A sixth sense? No. Just a brain trained over millions of years to read tiny visual details extremely well. Which brings us to a deeper question. If there's no single reliable sign of lying, not in the eyes, not in the face, what are we actually basing our judgments on when we decide someone is lying? The unsettling answer is that we're usually relying on our own biases, not real evidence. We tend to trust people who look like us, who smile the way we're used to, whose gaze feels familiar. Not because they're actually more honest, but because they match the internal picture we already carry of what an honest face looks like. Next time you try to judge someone by their eyes, whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even a stranger in a cab, remember that the eye isn't a lie detector. It's just a window into mental effort, not intention. The person avoiding your gaze might just be shy. The person holding their gaze with strange steadiness might be performing the role of honest flawlessly. The truth isn't in the eye itself. It's in the small details we usually ignore: blink rate, pupil dilation, the moments where the body moves faster than conscious awareness. So the next time you look into someone's eyes and think you're seeing everything, ask yourself, am I actually seeing the truth? Or am I just seeing what I was trained to believe was the truth?